Ooh, this comic's getting good, but I do have questions. Hey there, this is your Matt Doodle to my Thomas Hands, Doodle here with another video, and today I want to talk about the new Ultimate Spider-Man comic, issue 2. This comic is getting so good, and I just wanted to talk about it, about the things I enjoy, about the things I don't, about the things I have questions about, and the things I'm really worried about. Now, I do have a video about the first issue and how that really excited me on the changes. If you want to go see that, here's the video up here, or in the description down below, wherever you find it. So I just want to talk about this comic. Now, I do see that people have had some questions about it, and so do I. But first, I want to talk about the things I really enjoy. First of all, it's Peter not knowing how to be a superhero, or how to even, use his abilities. Now, I know it's already been done on the superhero origin and how they get their abilities and all that stuff. But the way this is done, it is so good because it already, explains how Peter technically was supposed to already get bit like a long time ago. And he just feels bad that now he got it. So he's just trying to already catch up to himself. That's what he even says in the comic. He feels like he needs to do some catching up. And I'm like, yeah, he needs to do some catching up. And also the fact that he fails so badly in the comics. I know it's weird to say that your favorite hero is doing well when you know he's failing, but not in the way where it's just so much beating Peter to the ground. It's more that he just doesn't know what he's doing. Because I love the fact that, his first villain he meets in this comic is Shocker. And I love how Shocker just looks very DIY. He doesn't have his, traditional quilt, a complete outfit, just like a robber looking mask and, some of the pattern on his arms, but he does have giant gauntlets, which is really cool. And I just love how, Peter, as, a new superhero, is very much a dad here. He's like, Shocker's like, why are you here? It's like, oh, I think I'm supposed to be able to be here to stop people like you. But first he says he doesn't know who he is, which you'll get that in a second. He says I think I'm supposed to stop you. And it's like, and the Shocker here was hilarious. It's like, oh, I found the errors of my ways. Thank you for finding that for me. Thank you. I will change my ways. And Peter's like, really? And Shocker's like, what do you think? And he shocks him. And then he escapes. And that's what I mean when Peter fails. It's a fun way to show him failing by just being inexperienced. And speaking of outfits, let's talk about Peter's, nanotech suit. And I have explained how much I am not a fan on nanotech suit for Spider-Man as it was shown in the MCU. Now, you may call me a hypocrite, but I have my reasons why I am kind of okay with it here. First of all, Peter was given... This is not the traditional Spider-Man. This is a Peter that was given the suit years later when he was already supposed to be Spider-Man. So that's already fine. And the fact that, at least in the MCU, the reason why I don't like it there is because that's supposed to be the beginning of Spider-Man that we're supposed to see, grow into the Spider-Man he is. While this is a universe that's different from the comics that's supposed to introduce you to Spider-Man more than anything. This is a completely different Spider-Man with a different history now. So it's you have to already know who Spider-Man is in the normal history because this is all different. That's why I'm fine with it. That's why it's an Elseworld, basically. It's a what if kind of. And that's why I'm okay with it. And also the story is just really good. And it gives us things that we really need. Spider-Man. And also the fact that the suit is blank. It's not the black suit. It doesn't have a giant spider. It doesn't have any things that normally show Spider-Man unless it's the eyes. That's about it, to emote. And I love that the eyes, move down too. Also, we get cool little scenes where Peter's eating and his little mask thing is off with his cool beard. It's just really nice to see that. Also, is it just me or did Peter really bulk up in this issue? Or is it just how he's always been? I'm curious whether it's the spider buffs him immediately or it takes some time. So curious. But one thing I like about, the strength part is the fact that they explain how his powers work. Now, that may be a weird thing to be excited about, but the reason why I am so excited about it, or really happy about it, is the fact that, even if it's small, it explains so much about this version of Spider-Man's powers and whether either they're different or not. Because they explain how, I'm much faster, I'm much stronger, I'm much more agile. while showing some cool poses. And I don't need to sleep. It's like, huh, that's something I never really thought of. But yeah, Spider-Man does night shifts as Spider-Man a lot of times in the comics. So the spider bite also allowed him to be up a lot more. And the fact that, he has to eat a lot, that's something I didn't really think about it so much unless, you're a speedster. But of course, with that much strength, Peter needs to eat a lot, which is so cool. So that means we're probably going to see middle-aged Peter munch on food pretty often, which is pretty nice. I think that's what I'm kind of interested too about when people said they don't like the nanotite suit. Again, he doesn't have a Tony Stark to deal more. He was given to all this stuff, but that was it. Go off on your own. That's it. That's what I like about that. But another reason why I am not extremely worried about the suit as well is because on what happens, his daughter finds out that he's a superhero. Oh, and before I forget, he never called himself Spider-Man here. I was confused because when he was talking to himself about what I'm supposed to be as a hero, he said that he doesn't know. And then when Shocker asked him, I was alluding to it, who are you? And he's like, I don't know, but I think I'm supposed to be the type of person who stops you. I'm like, wait, didn't you already know that you were Spider-Man? Didn't Tony tell you the name? And I looked back at the original issue for the first one, and no, he never called him Spider-Man. He just said you were supposed to get bit, that, you'd split your destiny, blah, blah, blah. Never called him Spider-Man. He gave him a blank slate with kind of an upgrade to the suit. That's about it. And, probably web shooters, but I still need to figure out they're mechanical or organic. Still confused. And it's just so cool. That's how it is. But the reason why I am so excited is because his daughter finds him in the costume and is immediately scared. She is not happy to see him. She was already scared to begin with about the suit. And Peter was already trying to gaslight his daughter on if he was real or not, which is funny. But I like how his son, Richard, is already, kind of like, I like him already. But she was so scared that she didn't like the suit at all. And then when Peter found her and she was about to cry, and he explained who he was, she basically said she doesn't like the suit at all, and it scares her. And Peter's like, let me see if I can figure that out, if I can change it. And I'm like, oh, that blew my mind, because I'm like, wait, could the reason for his Spider-Man suit to look like the classic Spider-Man suit come from his daughter? Instead of, him figuring out how the suit's going to look like from his own mind, because he's not a kid anymore. Because remember, he created that suit when he was 15 as a showbiz suit. And that's just super fantastic to think about. That it could do the reverse of the Superman costume effect. That, for Superman, his costume was made by his mom. But in this one, Peter's suit design is going to come from his daughter. And I'm like, that's going to be so good. That's probably going to be the complete different changes in costumes. How we saw in the variant covers for the Spider-Man comic. Had 2099, had Black Suit Spider-Man, it had, I think, other suits. I can't figure out what else. They had other suits, so either it could be her trying to figure out the changes to the classic one, so his daughter can actually be happy and it'd be cool. That's why I'm not super worried about suit either. But and also I love the side stuff, seeing Ben alive, talking with Jameson, just having a normal smoke bath. What are those things called again? But they were chatting. The way they act like best friends is just super cool. And the fact of how they were trying to talk about the news and how they need to get into into the serious matter on hey, Peter got pictures of the new Spider-Man, which I find hilarious that he's already doing that again. But they're talking about how are we going to get Peter on board? And Uncle Ben's like, first, we need to pay him first. And it's Jameson's like, dang it, you're right. And it's just funny seeing their back and forth things. It's just cool seeing Uncle Ben, because Uncle Ben here with the personality feels like that, older generation, just upfront, I am serious, I am like this, but still love with some sadness because, Aunt May died. And I know it's weird to see that already in the second issue when he's not really talking about her, but the way the art is shown, the way the dialogue is done, is a really cool way to see this happen. And then we get to see the new Green Goblin, such a heroic pose, because I know I've heard that he's supposed to be a hero in this one, and I'm like, let's see what's gonna happen here. But one thing before I forget is that I realized because his daughter caught him, Peter now has to tell MJ and his son, and he said he was gonna do that, but how long is that gonna take? Is it gonna happen when he's just like, oh, MJ, I would like to talk to you, how we're it's showed in the first comic how they're very open to each other. Hey, I need to tell you something. I saw this future Tony Stark, and he said that I was destined to be a superhero, so I got bit by the spider. Now he got superpowers, as you saw in the news now. And I don't know if she's gonna be mad or excited or worried because they got kids. So I'm curious about what that's gonna happen next issue. But this comic is just getting so good and exciting. Yeah, it's going a little slow, and I do get that. But I've gotten comfortable in waiting about these things because I haven't seen a lot of good, Marvel stuff in a while, especially comics wise for Spidey. So I'm okay waiting for this. Like when this comes out in like volume form, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna show it off. I don't care. That's how good this is. This just gets me really excited. I just really hope it doesn't go into a downhill spiral. Because yes, normally Peter does have to get his butt whooped a lot more. He has to have hardship. But I hope that's not in the expense of, the new stuff we got. Like his marriage with MJ, or, his family or his kids, or Uncle Ben dying, which I don't want to see that happen in this universe. I want to see Peter tell Uncle Ben his secret, or Uncle Ben finding out and not telling Jameson, because either Jameson's not going to like Spider-Man or something like that, because technically Peter would still be the first superhero again out here. Because in this world, Tony Stark was discouraged. In this world, Green Goblin is shown as a villain, and I don't think I've seen any other superheroes here yet. So to this one, to Jameson, he is just a strange vigilante, and probably Uncle Ben is probably going to have to, butt heads with that. Which means the reason I also will like this too much is because how much things it's making you think. It's making you like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It just gets me so excited, and I don't know what to do with all this excitement. What about you? Do you like this comic? Have you read it? Did I spoil it for you? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm just super exciting. And if you want to see more of these videos, let me know. And if you like this video, please, do the normal things you do on YouTube. Like it if you want, comment your thoughts on it, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when these videos come out. But if you don't want to, I get it. If you don't trust me on that front. But hey, if you're here for that long, I just want to thank everyone who's watched it this far. The other reason why I really like this comic is because it feels kind of validating for me. It feels weird because I wanted to be on YouTube since I was a teenager, probably younger. And I was going to start it much younger, but, I wasn't allowed to. And, school got in the way. I was kind of avoiding that, so I had to get back to that. And then when I got older, after school, I kind of just, forgot about it, went to college. But then I dropped out and was going to go back at it, but I didn't know how to start it again. So I kept going back and forth, and I felt like I was getting too old to do this YouTube thing with the mask. But this comic kind of validated my thing. Is like, hey, it doesn't matter how old you get, as long as you like what you're doing, or you feel like something's missing, fill that void. Fill that void with what you want. And that's why I'm doing this still at like 22. Even though I'm not the same age as this version of Peter Parker, I still feel like, hey, if he get to go get around and wear spandex and wear cool costumes, then why can't I? So for everyone who's still been watching up to this point, I want to thank you. I'm going to keep making more videos like this, and I appreciate everyone here. So if there's nothing else, this has been Dunamite, and I hope to see everyone in the next video.